You're watching Celtic Fans TV. Please don't forget to click subscribe below. Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's full-time reaction to Celtic 3, Hearts 1 here at Celtic Park. I've got Callum and Martin with me to go over it. Martin, 100 games in charge for Ange Postecoglou. Had to come from behind tonight. What do you make of it?
I thought Hearts went for it in the early part of the game. First half there wasn't much in it. I thought we had a couple of chances that we might have done better with, but we got the equaliser, which settled the nerves a little bit. Thought quite ambitious to make those 4 changes, especially the wing backs didn't quite work in the first half. But again, as we've said week in week out, made the substitutions and it made us a stronger team. And I thought the second half we dominated, and it was just a case of when we were going to get that second goal, third goal, possibly a fourth goal when the game was finished. And I thought we maybe had another goal in us, but overall, well-deserved victory, and it was quite good tonight, being able to make those changes and still coming away with a good solid performance and a good 3 points. Seen the banner from the fans at the end just saying to Ange, away by Christmas, question mark, did you see it? And then
that, yeah.
hopefully here for another 100 games. I'm sure he will be, because he loves it. He was lapping that up at the end, but I just like to get the win, and stuffy first half but great second half.
Aye, absolutely. Callum Martin talks about the changes to the team there. Ralston, Bernabei come in, O'Reilly's back in midfield with Moy, Hatate drops out, and Abada gets his start on the right hand side. I thought in the first half, even when we went behind, I thought the aggression was good against the ball in the final third. We were getting after Hearts, but I thought in the build up we lacked a wee bit of cohesion. Do you think that was maybe the changes?
It probably is the changes. I mean, Ralston's been out 3 months, so I mean, some people are on his back, and I mean, some people are probably going to think that I'm going to be on his back, but I'll give him a pass, because that is hard, do you know what I mean? Especially the tempo that Ange wants you to play at. But so it is. Bernabei's somebody that's a little bit rash at times. He looks almost as if he's struggling to settle inside and outside of life at Celtic Park, maybe. Also with the driving stuff going on, it's not really happened yet for him. He's probably the only one that's really struggling to settle when he gets his chance. And then when Maeda goes off the pitch as well, Celtic were a wee bit rocked by it almost, because that press was just left to Kyogo to go and do it all himself. You know, Abada is good, to be fair, but it feels like he's a bit more of an impact sub now for Celtic than he is maybe a starter, because I really wanted him to do well tonight. When I seen him, I was buzzing. I wanted Haksabanovic to start as well. He's been kind of getting into that level where you can start to see he's getting to that level where he once was. So the first half, as Martin says, we were quite slow at times, as you say. Our press was all right, but then I thought Hearts were actually decent for the first half. They stifled the middle of the park, didn't they? I mean, the boy Cibic stepped up as soon as Celtic had the ball. He stepped up in from centre back into the centre mid role and allowed them really. Cammy Devlin was chasing the ball when we had it at Carter Vickers, and he's their centre mid. So it kind of tells you what they were coming here to do. As soon as we got the ball, they went 5 at the back and they went really deep, but eventually we dug it out, and again we just keep turning out wins.
Aye. Martin, we've talked a lot about squad depth recently, and I keep saying that there's not really a drop-off with any of the guys that have been on the bench starting, but I think left back is the area where there is quite a noticeable drop-off. When Taylor goes out and Bernabei comes in, he's still got a bit to go, Bernabei, hasn't he?
He has, and he's had a wee run of games now where he's not played well at all, and he is probably the one that the fans are really, really unsure about, and Taylor's the opposite. The guy I was sitting with tonight, one of my mates, he said you would really, really miss Taylor now. We wouldn't have said that, you know, even 6 months ago we probably wouldn't have said that, but he's definitely one of the first names on the team sheet now, Taylor. So it's that contrast between you miss him and he is so good versus his replacement still being you know, will he eventually come good? I think it's far too early to say. Would they need a run of games maybe? As Callum says, maybe it's the culture, maybe it's, you know, coming to a new country and a new club and just getting used to it, but there is such a difference between those two players. But in every other area of the park, as you say, Paul, there's good replacements coming in there. I suppose Carter Vickers will rely on him a lot. You know, you tend to find even in the big teams where they try and rotate, they have 1 or 2 players that they stick by. The keeper tends to get retain their position, but Carter Vickers is definitely one of those that he's playing and the captain's playing, and maybe 1 or 2 others. I suppose Kyogo is the other one just now. He's our talisman up front, but I definitely Taylor. We missed him tonight in that first half. Aye,
Callum, we get level. It's a good goal. Ralston into the channel for Kyogo. Miles onside, they had to check it though because the flag went up. Brilliantly timed pass for Maeda, but to finish it, then Maeda goes off injured. But I thought the 2 highlights tonight were the goals in the second half. Jota, who comes on for Maeda, does brilliant to win the ball back for the second goal, plays it into Aaron Moy, lovely wee ball for Kyogo, beautiful finish, and then Haksabanovic steals the show with that third goal, doesn't he?
So even on to the first goal, it's actually a really, really good goal because Hearts step up really quickly, try and catch Kyle, go offside. And I almost think that at the time I thought he's offside, leave it to Abada, because Abada runs through on it as well. But he doesn't. He knows that he's onside. He obviously knows that he's played on the shoulder. He's got in behind. And it's the ethos of what Ange Postecoglou's sides do is they get the ball out wide, they find that gap, bang, they cut it across, and then Sander Clark's on the floor crying, like, come on, mate, you've been done, like, just get up and take it, do you know what I mean, take your medicine. First goal was really good. From a half, as I spoke about, it wasn't a really great half from Celtic. It wasn't a bad half, but it wasn't a good half either. It was kind of just almost playing through the emotion. It's a cold night, do you know what I mean? It is cold, and they look a little bit leggy or tired, which is fair dues on them, because he's stuck with this team quite often. He's not really made lots of changes until tonight, so you've got that balance of coming in like that, then making 2-3 changes, especially with the fullbacks. The second goal as well, that's brilliant. Jota ends up playing it into Moy in the middle of the park, and Hearts are kind of exploited in that area. Next minute he gets his head up, and we've seen it sometimes where you maybe go out to Ralston, but he doesn't. He drives through the middle, he plays that pass into Kyogo. Is it on his left foot? I'm sure it is. Left foot, and he hits it, and it just goes quite high. I think it goes into the middle of the net. Sander Clark's got no chance. It's a great finish, and that's where the game turned on its head. Hearts just looked deflated, and then the third goal from Haksabanovic is just individual quality. I mean, checking VAR.
It's got to be a wind-up, man.
It grinds my gears, honestly, right? Because I don't understand some of the stuff that they checked. They checked a possible red card in the first half on Bernabei, and there's nothing to it. It's almost players almost play on that as well. By the way, players are like, as soon as a tackle happens, the opposition team goes straight to they emphasise the situation to make it sound as if it was a worse tackle than what it was. There was nothing to be there, but comfortable night.
Martin, a wee bit of jeopardy in the game because we go obviously behind, and then we're at 1-1 for a period in the second half, and that's not happened very much this season. We're now obviously, I think it's 26 wins for 28 games, which is remarkable, but it's not often we've faced that wee bit of jeopardy in the game, and I think it kind of helped the atmosphere, and the quality told with those two goals in the second half.
It did. I mean, Celtic fans were certainly good tonight, and I thought Hearts fans were quiet. They came in big numbers though, but I didn't hear much from them, but it added a little edge to the game. And I think in the first half of the season, it seems such a long time now, but we were talking about late winners, and having to finish a game strongly because games were quite close. But in this second half, since we came back from the World Cup, I don't know how much you guys have had a look at the numbers, but they're scary. I think we played 17 games, scored 54 goals, and conceded 9. It's unbelievable. And in the last 10 games, we've scored 37 goals and conceded 5. It's unbelievable. So, for they're scoring a goal every other game, and we're scoring almost 4 goals a game. When you look at the run, we're scoring, in a couple of games we scored 2, but most games we're scoring 4 and 5 goals. It is really, really incredible. So we've started blowing teams away in the second half of the season. We've really taken up 2 or 3 gears, not a single gear, and we're winning games really comfortably now. But probably that's why tonight we thought, wait a minute, we're in a game here, whereas other games we've been going out and getting a lead early in the game. So it's a different team in the second half of the season for me than it is in the first half of the season, and hopefully we can finish even stronger, because we fell off a little bit last year. We finished a little bit with a whimper, but this year I've just got a feeling that we're going to keep going. And part of that is to do with, we've got an injury tonight, and hopefully it's not a long-term injury, but part of that is because we haven't had many injuries in the squad, and players have been getting more and more game time, the newer players, but they've also come in and hit the ground running. I read the article today or yesterday about who's Angie's best signing. You're like, that's an interesting debate, that one, because he's brought in so many good players who've all made a massive impact. So it's a combination of things for me, but we're just blowing teams away. And again, over the course of the 90 minutes, we're by far the better team tonight. Yeah,
talking about Ange and his best signings, Hatate sat on the bench tonight, came off in the second half. I thought he helped us when he came on. I think we did miss him maybe at times in the game. Just somebody to sort of link midfield a wee bit better. I don't know if that combination of O'Reilly and Moy together works particularly well, but he helped us when he came on. And then if you look at the game on Saturday, you'd expect us to surely go back to full strength.
Aye, we'll go back. It's actually interesting. Does he go now Abada? Because I don't think Mahida's probably going to make it in time. So does he go Abada and does he go Jota left, or does he maybe go Jota right and then Haksabanovic, where it's 2 tricky wingers? We've got a couple. I think probably tonight is going to be harder than it is Saturday. And even though we're at home and we've got the crowd and the advantage, tonight was always going to be a slug, I thought, at times. It's nippy, it's freezing, and everyone's looking forward to that game, and the lineup's told us that from both sides, as both managers are kind of one eye on Saturday. I mean, it's Rangers' biggest game. Looking forward to Celtic versus Hearts, obviously, because they want Hearts to do us. But it's not going to happen because Martin touches on it. We are by far the best side in this country. By far, there's not even a small gap. It's a massive gap. Genuinely, the amount of goals that we are battering teams by, Martin. You talk about it. I think the record stands at 116 goals in
106
in a league season, right? I'm sure that's Celtic up to 90. I'm going to guess here 94, something round about that, right? 94. And Martin talks about it as we're beating teams 3, 4, 5-1s, but it's cold, the pitch isn't the great. He's when the better weather starts coming in into the split, and this place is rocking. When we get Rangers here in the 8th, mate, it's going to be a different place. And honestly, teams are frightened of how good Celtic are. You talk about Hatate, he comes on, but he's just quality. And I imagine being another player saying, mate, what's the point? How am I going to get near him? He's engine, he's touch, he's passing, his vision. He's got so many levels to go, and so does this club. And we genuinely are. I genuinely think we're miles ahead of, and it must frustrate Rangers. It must, because they're going to win in games as well, 3-1s and 4-1s. But then they're looking, going, Celtic going to just give us a little bit of hope and slip up. There's 1-0 tonight, and it's going, oh, come on. We show that the resolve in this team is unbelievable. That's why we're champions.
Martin Kyogo gets the sponsor man of the match tonight. A goal and an assist. Who gets it for you?
I think I probably would go. Can I just quickly touch on the stats, all right? Because Callum's talking about the number of goals, so we're going to get that 106 now, aren't we?
Yeah. And I think it's 90. Am I right in saying it's 90?
It is 90. It's 94 and 20 against, right? So we're plus 70. It's unbelievable, eh? The more when you look at those numbers, you're just like, wow, we've never seen numbers like that before. But we're up at 90 now with 10 games to go, so we only need to score 16 goals in 10 games.
1.6 goals a game, we're averaging 3.7.
We're averaging 3.7.
So is that record in all of Scottish football? It's not just Celtic, is it? It's all of Scottish football.
It's the league record, it's the league record, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to smash the points, we're going to smash the goal difference, we're going to smash the goals for, we're going to smash everything, aren't we? I think we've played 34 games this season and 32 victories out of 34 games. It's unbelievable, eh? You couldn't have dreamed that. You couldn't have dreamed that. But sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but to answer your question, Kyogo for me, he was lively in the game. I think particularly Callum touching it a couple of times. When Maeda goes off, you really need, that press, and Kyogo stepped up. And I know you're his biggest fan, Paul, right? But tonight for me, he was really good. Man of the match for me.
Yeah, Callum, MD.
I'd pick Kyogo. His will to run, Ange spoke about it in his press conference and stuff, saying it's not just about his goals, it's not just about it's like at the St Mirren game, it's a nothing ball for him. He shouldn't even be running. It's against, why should you do that? That's what we've been used to, but it gives us that wee bit of that just extra factor where he goes for it. He knows that he'll get something out of nothing, and that's what he gives us. And then tonight, the second goal, plays in the shoulder, runs, he's just all round his quality. He's going to get by 30 goals as well. He's going to smash that record as well. And as I said, Martin touched on it, the points, I think the point record stands, is it Rodgers, when we won 34 and drew 4 games in Invincibles? Yeah. So, I think Celtic's going to win every single game. I think we're going to beat Rangers here. I think we're going to beat them at Ibrox as well. I genuinely think we'll smash that record as well. So
we'll get 109, I think, 106 the record.
I think, so it's 106 the record, and it's 109 if we win every single game. What's that, 10 games left?
Yeah.
So we now are ticking the games off 10. I think we've now got 5 home and 5 away, because the split we've got 3 away and 2 at home. So we've got half the games. We're going to win every game here anyway, and then you get 5 games away from home. So it's looking bright, yeah.
There you go. On to Saturday, Kyogo's my man of the match as well. I'm sure you're surprised to know. Like this video, comment out your own thoughts on the game below, and we'll see you on Friday for the build up to that quarter final at Tynecastle. Cheers.